we're driving back from Portland. We went down to see my uncle for the weekend and saw my cousin from Ohio. I actually saw my aunt that I haven't seen in probably 10 years. It was great. We had a really fun time. And we have our kids. There's the hooded monster back there. And there's that one, yes. Good morning. Well, we're headed back. We thought this might make a little change of scenery rather than, you know, perfect setup in the house or something. I don't know. Anyway, but we wanted to talk about instant gratification because we live in the world of instant gratification.
Microwaves. Pizza.
We've lived in that world for quite some time.
Oh, but you know, Domino's says that pizza profile. That's instant gratification. You can text an emoji and get a pizza. You don't have to call anyone.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in.
What does your emoji
if I want
pizza
it,
look like?
I want it now. There's a movie. I'm just going to turn on the TV and I want it right now. I can have anything, just about anything I want delivered to the house within 24 hours. We are so used to this that anything we have to wait for, forget it. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting 5 minutes. If people will wait outside Best Buy for 2 weeks that's the kind of ridiculousness I don't get for like Black Friday and that
It was
kind of
only for
nonsense.
6 hours for a PlayStation 4, and I only did it one time, and that's because Chuck shall ask me to. I'm calling him out.
You are.
Worst
You're
day of my life.
You are calling people out lately. Poor little Emily last week. I try to keep names out of this.
Oh, she was on when I did it.
Oh, that's why you did it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But instant gratification. We get married, we want this perfect, instant, amazing marriage where we know everything about each other. I know what you're thinking when you're thinking. And you know, when you first get married, oh, it's so cute when that actually happens and everything's sweet. Then a couple years down the line, you're not on the same wavelength. I swear we were on the same wavelength. Why are we not there anymore? And you start getting frustrated and you're like, this isn't meant to be. I must have married the wrong person. We're not in the same wavelength. We never think alike. I can't do anything because you have to get through the pooping stage.
That's my thing.
Serious?
If you're running into a second bedroom to go to the bathroom.
You see these people? I didn't give up on them because we had to go through I'm sorry, 2-year-old Xander. This is just not working for me. I'm really tired of having to do all these things for you.
Change your diaper.
I think we just need to call it quits right now. You know, I need to find another kid that might be a better fit for me. Do we do that?
That comes out of the womb potty train.
That would be amazing. We don't do that. Who does that? People do that. I think it's horrible, but most of us do not do that. Why do we expect our marriage to be any different? We expect our kids to be a 2-year-old. They're a 2-year-old. Sometimes we don't like it, but it's hard to expect them to act like an adult when they're 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. I don't expect him to act like an adult. I expect him to make stupid decisions sometimes because he's 12.
I don't expect him to act 2 either.
But why do we expect our marriage to be absolutely perfect and mature 2, 3, 4, 5 years in? It takes a long time for maturity to really set in, and before you really are on the same wavelength, and it becomes this dance that you do. You know, when we don't get what we want, we stamp our feet, we throw a fit. I want what I want, and I want it now. Well, I'm sorry, that's not the way a marriage actually works. If you do that, you'll find yourself divorced or alone or lonely or mad or frustrated pretty quickly. If we both wanted what we wanted all the time, we would be miserable. And if we tried to fight for what we wanted all the time. What do they say that, I know it's a cheesy cliche. Here's Andrew, you want to know what cliche is? You know, if you love someone, you want their happiness more than your own.
Well, that's the truth.
It's kind of the truth. I want to make sure he's happy. He wants to make sure I'm happy. So we do little things to make each other happy in different ways. I may not want to get up and make my son breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning to take him to school. But I know he loves it, he needs it, and I love him. Well, why do I love my husband any differently? Or, you know, that I wouldn't want to do something for him. I want to serve my kids.
She kicks me out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning to make him breakfast.
Not all the time. Oh, my arm's going to sleep holding that up there. Yeah. But, do you know what I mean? It's just, we want what we want, and if we don't get it, and if we don't have it now, I'm just going to drop it and find it with someone else. Or I'm just frustrated, I'm never going to get what I want, so let's move on. Chris says she's still waiting for you to grow up.
Well,
this is true. But I don't know. What do we do?
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Oh, Xander says he thinks he's older than you. Some days, perhaps, child, someday. But honestly, it takes a long time. So don't give up. Take the time. Nobody has the patience. Nobody has patience anymore to wait. It's not going to take a couple weeks before you get used to each other. It's going to take 20 years. And it's 20 years of learning about each other. Not being frustrated you're not getting what you want. Because 20 years will go by and you are resentful, you are bitter, you're in each other's corners, and you're just shooting arrows back and forth at each other. That's no place to be.
You got to get to the point where you can go into the bathroom and go to the bathroom in front of your spouse. If you're that far in your marriage, you've actually shared something. That's the pooping stage. Not that I want you to poop in front of your spouse, but you get the idea.
You went in a really weird direction with this.
If you're still running into a second bathroom to go to the bathroom because you're nervous about something that everyone does, you haven't matured enough in your marriage to go, okay, this is who I am.
It is, though. It really is about growing up, about being mature and go, okay, let's handle this like adults. I didn't like what Tim did. I don't like the way he said that. Am I going to throw a fit about it, walk out, storm out, or I'm going to go, hey, this is how I really feel about this. Can I communicate this with you? Instead of, how could you do that to me? I'm so mad right now. I wanted what I wanted. Yeah, Xander's our little comic relief back there.
And it's the same way with the kids. I get yelled at a lot for how I beat the children, or yell at them, or don't let things go. Don't let things go, but it's part of that as well. I can't believe that you did that with Xander. And there are other times where I go to her privately before I confront Xander and go, hey, Xander's a boy. I'm teaching him how to be a man, and I'm going to do something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but it'll be the betterment of him.
Yeah.
So it was just, part of those conversations are really important to have, especially when a man is raising a man and a woman is raising a woman. There are times where she'll know the better way to reach a daughter if we had one, but I'll know the best way to kind of reach my boys because they're little men, and that's the way I want to train them up to be. So my punishments may be harsher than she would ever think, but that's the way that I know it's going to get through to them.
Are you sure that was a man?
Anyway, but we just want you to get through those stages, figure it out. Don't just get through, but thrive and figure each other out and enjoy the journey. It's a process. You have to fall in love with the process of learning about each other. Not just fall in love with each other, because the falling in love and the feeling will go away. Fall in love with the process of learning about each other through every stage of your life. And before you know it, you'll be married 20 years and you'll have this routine, this dance that you do where you know each other like the back of your hand. And it's beautiful, but it does not happen overnight or even in a couple years.
And just like I talked about last week, that love is a choice. It isn't a feeling. And so you two both have to work on finding tools to walk you through that process and creating the tools for you.
Yeah.
A hammer's not going to work for every situation, and sometimes a crowbar will work just fine. So you have to create the tools. You have to fall in love with the process, and you have to understand that love is always a choice. And through the verse in 1 Corinthians, it is always the choice that you choose to be patient, to be kind, to love one another, to be long-suffering. Some of you have to experience long-suffering with your spouse, and that sucks.
It does.
But that's, those are people fighting through cancer. One spouse has cancer, the other person is suffering, and choosing to stay in long-suffering and patience and kindness and goodness and self-control.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for doing last week.
Hey.
I was puking my guts out.
And I was there right there in the bathroom.
You were, and then I closed the door. No, honey. Don't look away. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you next Monday. Let's not get in a car accident here. All right, we'll see you back home.
Truck driver
Bye.
from Minnesota.